was late evening, and the school was almost empty. Only a few lights were still on in the long, quiet corridors. Aaron sat alone in his classroom, packing his books after a long day. But for the last few days, something strange had been happening to him. Every night, he had the same dream. In his dream, he was standing inside a mysterious forest. The trees were tall and glowing, and small lights floated in the air like fireflies. But something felt wrong. The sky above the forest was dark, almost black, as if the sun had disappeared. In the distance, a huge shadow moved between the mountains. Every time it moved, the ground trembled, and suddenly a small dragon would appear and say in a weak voice, "Please, save our forest." Then Aaron would wake up. His heart would be racing. At first he thought it was just a dream, but the dream kept coming again and again, until one day, he decided to find the truth. After school ended, Aaron quietly walked behind the library. There was an old staircase there that led down to the basement. Students were not allowed to go there, but something inside him was pulling him toward it. Slowly, Aaron began walking down the dusty stairs. The basement was dark and silent. Broken chairs and old tables were scattered everywhere. Then, suddenly, Aaron saw something strange. A small door in the wall. It had glowing symbols carved into it. His heart began beating faster. He slowly touched the door. And suddenly, a bright golden light burst out. The next moment, Aaron found himself standing in the same magical forest from his dream. But this time, it was real. The forest looked damaged. Many trees were broken, deep cracks covered the ground, and the sky above was dark and black. The forest felt frightened and alive at the same time. Small animals, foxes, rabbits, glowing birds, gathered nervously around Aaron, watching him with wide, hopeful eyes. A small fox stepped forward carefully. It looked up at Aaron and placed something gently into his hand.
It holds the light of the
A
forest.
smooth, golden stone. Warm to the touch, glowing softly like a tiny sun.
This stone holds
Take
the
this,
light of the forest.
the fox whispered quietly.
Forest.
It holds the light of our forest. If darkness ever becomes too strong, this stone will remind the forest what it once was. Aaron closed his fingers around it and held it carefully. "I will protect it," he said softly. Just then, a sad dragon rushed toward him. "Aaron, you came,"
Aaron,
the dragon said happily.
came. What happened to the forest?
Aaron looked around and asked, "What happened to the forest? Why is the sky dark?" The dragon looked toward the mountains with fear. "This happened because of this stone giant." Aaron followed the dragon's gaze, and then he saw it. Far between the mountains stood a massive giant made entirely of stone. Each step it took shook the ground, and every time it moved, dark clouds spread across the sky. "That giant came from the mountains," the dragon said. "It wants to make this forest its home, but it destroys everything in its way." Aaron felt fear rising inside him, but then he remembered the words from his dream. "Please, save our forest." Aaron took a deep breath. "We have to stop it."
Okay, I'm
The
climbing
dragon
up.
spread its
Hold on
wings.
tight, Aaron.
"Hold
Ready,
tight!"
Let's fly.
Aaron climbed onto the dragon's back, and they flew toward the mountains. As they got closer, the giant suddenly turned. Its glowing eyes locked onto them. The giant roared loudly. "This forest belongs to me now." Its voice echoed across the mountains like thunder. Aaron shouted back with courage, "This forest belongs to everyone." The giant became furious. It grabbed a massive boulder from the ground and hurled it toward them. "Look out!" Aaron shouted.
Whoa, dust left.
The dragon quickly twisted in the air, barely avoiding the giant rock. The boulder crashed into the forest, smashing several trees. Then another rock came flying, and another. The The giant kept throwing enormous stones like deadly meteors. The dragon weaved through the sky, dodging them again and again. The air was filled with dust and flying debris. Arin held tightly as the dragon dived and spun through the chaos. "We can't keep dodging forever," Arin shouted. "We must find its weakness." The dragon began circling the giant. Suddenly, Arin noticed something. In the center of the giant's chest,
Do you see something,
a glowing blue stone. "Dragon! That stone!" Arin shouted. "That must be the source of its power." The giant saw them looking. It roared angrily and swung its huge stone arm through the air. The dragon barely escaped the attack. The wind from the giant's swing nearly knocked them down.
Take this. It holds the light of the
But
forest.
Arin suddenly remembered. The golden stone the fox had placed in his hand. He pulled it out of his pocket. It began glowing brighter and brighter, as if it recognized what needed to be done. "I think this can stop him,"
the stone's power.
Arin said.
Here it comes.
"Let's try." The dragon nodded and flew straight toward the giant. The giant raised both arms, ready to crush them. "Now!" Arin shouted. The dragon dived straight toward the giant's chest. At the last second, Arin stretched out his hand and pushed the golden stone forward. A powerful burst of golden light exploded into the air. The golden light collided with the giant's blue stone. For a moment, everything froze. Then the giant stopped moving. Its glowing eyes slowly dimmed. The giant looked down at Arin, but now the anger in its eyes was gone. Instead, there was sadness. In a quiet voice, the giant said,
I am so sorry. I never meant to hurt you.
I know.
Can you forgive me? I promise I will protect this forest from now on.
"I never wanted to destroy the forest. I was alone in the mountains, and I only wanted a place to belong." Arin looked up at the giant. He was not afraid anymore. He said gently, "You don't need to destroy a home to find one. If you protect the forest, it can be your home too." The giant stayed silent for a long moment. The wind blew quietly around them. The earth trembled softly as it settled. "I promise," it said quietly. "I will protect this forest from now on." Suddenly, the dark clouds disappeared. The sky slowly turned bright again.
Darkness is
Warm golden light poured through the trees.
the light returns
Trees began
to
glowing
us.
once more. The cracks in the ground slowly closed. Birds filled the sky with joyful sounds. The fox, the rabbits, and all the forest animals gathered around Arin and cheered. The dragon smiled and said, "You didn't just save the forest. You changed a heart." Just then, a golden door appeared again between the trees. Arin knew it was time to go. He turned and looked at the giant one last
You
time.
didn't just save the forest.
The giant gave a slow,
changed
gentle
heart.
nod. Arin smiled back. He said goodbye to the dragon, to the fox, and to all his new friends. Then he took a breath and stepped through the golden door. In the next moment, he was back in the school basement. Everything was silent again, just like before. The dusty old chairs, the broken tables, the cold, quiet air. As Arin turned to leave, he looked back at the door one last time. The door was still there, and a new message was glowing on it. Only the brave can open this door again. Arin smiled. He held the memory of the forest close to his heart, because he knew his adventure was not over yet.